Hello, second graders. Today, your learning target is I can read the fable The Bear and the Bee and determine the central message or lesson of the story. You read it with me now. I can read the fable The Bear and the Bee and determine the central message or lesson of the story. Today, you will read The Bear and the Bee and discuss the lesson that the author is trying to teach the reader. You will need the Bear and the Bee text also in this slide deck, the same journal page from yesterday, Fables and Folktales Response Journal, Day 11, and a pencil. First, let's read the fable, The Bear and the Bee. The Bear and the Bee. Once there was a pollinator named Little Bee. Little Bee lived in the forest. Little Bee was buzzing by when he spotted Big Bear. Big Bear was taking a nap. Little Bee buzzed close to Big Bear. Suddenly, Big Bear woke up. He cried, "Little Bee, you know I could kill you with my giant claws. I will let you live because you make honey, which I love to eat." Little Bee thought. He said, "Big Bear, you are much larger than me, but one day you might need my help." Big Bear laughed and said, "You are tiny. How could a silly little insect ever help a powerful creature like me?" Little Bee thought again. He did not say anything. He just buzzed by and flew away. Later, Little Bee heard a noise. It was a hunter. He had a bow and arrow, and he was ready to shoot Big Bear. Immediately, Little Bee flew to the hunter and buzzed in his ear. The hunter was scared. He cried, "Leave me alone," and ran away. Big Bear cried, "Little Bee, you saved my life. Thank you." Little Bee said, "I promised you I would help you. I am little, but I can do great things too." Now that we've read the story, let's think about it. Acting out a story using hand motions and different voices helps you remember the main events. What are hand gestures and actions that you could use to match the events in the beginning, middle, and end? Pause the video and think about it. Now that you've thought about it, let's get ready to talk about it. The reader can often understand and tell the central message of a story by how characters respond to a problem. So now talk about this with a family member or friend. What is the problem in the story, and how did the characters respond? And then from that, think about what is the lesson in this story? I know the characters are the bear and the bee, and the problem had to do with the other character, the hunter. What lesson could we learn from how they responded to that problem? Pause the video and talk about this with a family member or friend now. Now that you've talked about it, let's write about it. Using your journal, write what you think is the central message or lesson of the story. When you're done, share this with a teacher, family member, or friend. Remember, the central message has to do with how the characters respond to the problem in the story. Thank you, boys and girls.